Hello to our digital family. It's your favorite trio sibling podcast back in the house, A Tribe Called Dhillon. Welcome back to our channel. We hope you had a great week. We are going to get into our Win of the Week segment. Who wants to go first? Rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors. I'll go first.
Okay.
I have a really cool one. So I make my own hyaluronic acid serum, as you guys are aware. So viewers, if anyone wants to know how I make it, let me know, and I will give you a tutorial. And I make my own hyaluronic acid serum. And it's been a game changer. I have dry skin, and so especially during the heat, my skin dries out further. So I slapped the stuff on. I noticed my brother Alvin started getting dry skin, and I made him the serum. And Al, I'm actually gonna let you answer. How was the serum?
Wait, before you get into your answer, what, for viewers and listeners that don't know, what is it hyaluronic? How do you say it?
Yeah, I don't know the chemicals behind
but what
it.
actually
Well,
is it?
Bill Nye, you're the one creating it. You should know.
Yeah. What is hyaluronic
Hyaluronic
acid?
acid is something our body creates, I guess. And as you get older, you start losing this ooey gooey stuff inside our body. So I take pills, but I also make the gel, because as you'll see when you make the gel, over days the consistency gets thicker and thicker, and it hydrates. It keeps your skin hydrated.
Okay, because I know that I've seen in creams nowadays hyaluronic acid, but I
Yep.
didn't actually know what that was.
I don't know what it is too. I just
Okay.
know the stuff is amazing.
But you make your
and
own now.
I make my own. Well, I buy the hyaluronic
sure.
acid pills, and then I open the pills and make my own cream serum, because I don't know what the store stuff has, and I like just making my own, and it's worked wonders.
So
for
your
my
win
skin.
is now going to become Alvin's win.
Yeah.
Okay, Al,
You
your
see
win.
how that happened?
I guess it's kind of my win. I had a different win, but okay. Well, she, as usual, whenever Rose gets on something, she has to start riding you till you try it, and if you don't try it, every time you see her, it's like, you should do this, you should do that. So finally, she's like, okay, I'm gonna leave this bottle of hyaluronic acid here for you. She's like, use it. 1 week went by, didn't use it. She was like, well, it's gonna be done in like another few days. You need to at least try it. Just try it. So finally, one morning, I usually have to put my own cream on Eucerin. Thank you, Eucerin. Hopefully I'll get a sponsor deal one day from you, because the amount I use of your cream, I'm probably one of the heaviest users that's ever used it. I'm on like an auto ship monthly supply from them. So I put that on, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Today's gonna be the day. I was like, this is how change happens. One day you decide to make a change. It's like, today I'm gonna put this crap on my face. So I put it on. Like, we'll see what happens. And within like an hour or so, whenever I see her put it on, it's on her face for like hours and hours, and it looks weird. So I put it on, and like an hour later it was all gone. And I just had a few small pieces of it on my hand. Like, it looked like gelatin, like a 5-cent candy material. And tried it again the next day, and all of a sudden I started feeling like, hey, this is a little smooth. It's like, this is smoother. It's like probably one of the smoothest I've seen in a long time. It's like it's smoother than a baby's bum. I was like, I think there's something to this. I was like, let me try it for a couple more days. And then I started noticing, whoa, it makes a big difference. And I was like, damn, now I don't know if I want to tell her that I started doing this. Because it's like, see, I told you, you should have started this 5 years ago, blah, blah. You should have started it before they invented it. So I went on it, and it was awesome. It was great. But that's actually about my win.
Yeah, you can give your win. I wanted you to add to my win.
My win is, now once again, it's related back to you.
Oh.
And I don't know how I get roped into this stuff. I'm not a barber by trade. I don't cut people's hair, let alone cut my own hair. I barely just trim the side, barely shave. She's like, can you cut my hair today? I was like, I have no idea. She's like, I need you to put layers in. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. She's like, I'm going to send you a video. Watch it and just do it for me. I'm like, are you seriously trusting me? You did this once before, and I just did a little bit. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't blame me if something happens to your hair. She's like, no, just I trust you. You'll figure it out. She's like, gives me the video. I looked at it, I was like, oh, this doesn't seem too bad. I was like, let me try this. So and the video she sends me is a girl cutting her own hair. I'm like, you're sending me a video of a girl cutting her own hair. How come you can't figure this out? So I did it, and I actually made my own version of it today, and it turned out to be this beauty show over here.
Yeah, so thank you very much. My hair.
Look at this. We keep everything in-house. We
In-house.
don't do
You know,
anything.
this is my. Thank you, Al. I really do need to go find a barber. I've had such bad experiences of going to hair salons and getting my hair cut. They don't understand the texture and the thickness of my hair, so I always walk away kind of feeling like I have a mullet. So I have so much PTSD going into a hair salon, and Al and our friend Shiv are the only two guys that I know that are perfectionists that I trust them to cut my hair. So
I
that's
agree.
the logic behind
Shiv
it.
has actually
Shiv,
trimmed
I'm
my
actually
hair.
going to get Shiv to watch a video and do it next
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know that he will kill it.
Yeah, if you show me something where I have to learn it, then I'll figure it out and
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
it.
I knew that about you.
Yeah.
You guys are the same way. You guys are both computer
Yeah,
kind
it's a
of
new skill.
science guys. I knew that
Yeah.
you would watch it and figure it out and do it.
I've been
And
telling
thank
you guys for years that I have a voice of an angel. Now you can say I have the hands of an angel too. Okay.
No, I agree. I know what you mean because in February I went. Well, I'm sure our listeners and our viewers can probably go back and watch when I had my layers done. I got a lot of hair chopped out, and I didn't realize at the time that it was a lot. I'm like, I went in for just to freshen up my layers. She cut my hair, and lo and behold, it's been 5.5 months later. Now this is the progress I have, and now I'm like, I'm just gonna go and cut my layers myself. For now that Al's done a really great job, maybe I'll hit up Al
I have to start charging.
since I know where
pretty
you
soon.
live.
Yep.
I'll start charging.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, my win of the week is a really cool win. I won a laptop through a draw at work.
Oh!
Congratulations! Woo,
Wait,
woo.
I don't know if that's a win because it may be a win for you, but that means more work for me.
It is. I'll probably have to get you to install Microsoft
Yeah, there we go.
Office and all that. But yeah, I want a laptop, so I'm super. I mean, it's a used laptop, but it
No, it's a
doesn't
great
matter.
laptop. I saw the specs on that.
Yeah.
It's a business laptop.
So thank you. I'm very, very happy with that win.
Awesome. Before we get into the episode, Al, should we acknowledge the fact that we're both
I
wearing
noticed that. What's? How come I didn't get
sports
the memo?
jerseys?
Yeah, I was feeling a little gangster today, so I thought of my Raider jersey.
I own a bunch of
Because
jerseys.
like 90% of their fans
You
are
know,
gangsters.
I live in America. It's a sports
Okay.
country, so I have a ton of these things, and I work in sports entertainment. So sometimes they're just casual and they're fun. They're easy to wear. Like,
Thanks for.
I wore it just because I saw it in my closet. I was like, I haven't worn this jersey in like a year.
yeah, I saw that, and then I was
wear
like, I'll wear my jersey.
Yeah.
We'll be matching jerseys.
yeah. Well, thanks for dropping that in our team group WhatsApp chat.
sorry, Ange. Next
Hey,
time.
You're welcome.
Kind of feeling a little
Left out?
exclusive when we're all about inclusivity.
Well, let's say if we did let you know that. Do you own any jerseys?
I do. I have a Vancouver Canucks jersey.
Not hockey.
Kid
Football.
size.
Football. Do you have any?
No,
football?
I don't have football.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
why we didn't.
But honestly, I can't believe you two are wearing jerseys because it's so hot right now. We are taping on an extremely
We are on
warm
camera,
day.
so I do have to clothe myself. So
Well, it's an extremely
it
warm
doesn't
day
feel that
considering
hot.
yeah,
we're
it's
taping in the
breathable.
evening.
Yeah, it's breathable.
Their jerseys. What do you think their players are wearing when they're sweating for an hour,
Yeah.
2 hours playing? They're
I
wearing
don't feel
jerseys that
as
are breathable.
hot in this, actually.
I don't know. I'm wearing a tank top and I'm
I
extremely
like the
warm.
colors. I like the Seahawks.
Well, it is
colors.
like
Living
30
in
degrees
Seattle, I
today,
like to
so-
represent.
Yeah, it's unusually warm
Yeah.
today, and the show must go on. Hence
show
why
must
your
go on.
favorite trio sibling is taping today
Yep.
because we want to make sure we pump out the episodes every week and we stay consistent.
Because we committed to this.
We did. We did, whether we like it or
With
not.
or without the air conditioning on.
Yes.
And we can't turn on the air conditioning because
Yeah.
it's so
You
loud.
won't hear us. It's gonna sound like a truck. in
Okay,
the
I want to
background.
get into today's content, and we hope you're able to reflect in today's episode. I think it's an important subject that we talk about. It's how do I table it? Like self-appreciation, self-worth. The reason I'm bringing it up is a month ago I introduced the Win of the Week segment, and the reason I introduced that segment was because I wanted each of us, including the three of us and including yourself, to start paying attention to the wins in your life in the week. I think we get so busy with life, we get bogged down and we forget to have that positive inner dialogue with ourselves. I was finding out that's what I was doing for myself. We are our own worst critic. I would sometimes catch myself doing something silly and I'd be like, oh, Ange, why did you do that? You're so silly. You're such a silly girl. And I started to realize a pattern of kind of negative self-talk with myself. And when I look back, I had accomplished a lot of things in the week, but I wasn't giving myself kudos for what I had accomplished. I was kind of minimizing those things, and in the moment catching myself if I would do something silly like, oh God, you have to run back inside the house. You forgot your shoes. You're such a moron. That was kind of like my dialogue. And then I caught myself to know, okay, you forgot something to do with your workout stuff. You had to run back up in the house to get it. But so what? We all forget things. What about the stuff that you did yesterday? What about the stuff that, you did last week at work, or just anything in general with your family? So when I started to journal and write down the wins of my week, I started to realize there was a shift in my mind, became a little more positive, and as Al would say, my complaint department went from 24/7 to operating in business hours to now I like to say maybe operating just during lunch break.
Ooh,
Right. So I noticed a
quite a
shift.
drastic change. Well,
Yes.
I'll be the judge of that.
Right. So I've noticed that I was complaining a little less. I started to notice that, you know what, my self-esteem, my self-worth, man, like I'm a pretty badass chick when I look back at all the accomplishments that I've done. So in a month, if I take one win of the week every week, in 1 month, that's 4 big things that I've done that I probably normally would not recognize. So hence why we think today's episode is going to be an impactful episode, because it's talking about our self-worth and how do we value ourselves.
Sometimes you just gotta toot your own horn.
Toot toot!
I like how you both at the same time. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys feel about that? What do you think about that segment that I introduced? Did it take a minute for you to adjust? Be like, damn, did it start getting you thinking like, what did I actually do? Because I got to tell Ange in our episodes.
Yeah, no, it helped a lot. I'd say I definitely am someone who journals regularly, at least 3 times a week, and I write down all of the good things that I have accomplished during the week. But you making this being a weekly thing made me write it down on my phone about what I'm going to discuss, and then when I look back, I'm like, oh wait, I had like 9 wins. Like I guess I got to just only pick 2 since we're taping. Like I didn't realize I had that many wins. So definitely have seen a shift in me being kinder to myself since I started adding the win of the week or win of the day or however it goes that week. It's definitely improved for me. Yeah.
Good. Al, what about you?
Yeah, I feel that I'd realized that after that I was actually being hard on myself all the time, like all day, every day. If something, a little mishap happens, you start blaming yourself for it, and you kind of like you brush over, like you were saying, the wins, and you don't actually remember them until you have to go back and like, oh yeah, this happened or that happened. Hey, that's actually really good, and I should be giving myself more props for it. But I feel like we've just been programmed to not do that, just almost always be hard on yourself to say, well, I got to constantly be improving, but that's not the way. I think it should be that there's got to be some times where you sit and reflect to say, hey, look what I did, these are actually good things, I am improving, or I've done some good things today. It wasn't just all me messing up or having a bad day. So I think it's really important, and I'm starting to see the value and the benefits of it now by acknowledging my own wins or remembering and say, hey, yeah, that was good.
No, I agree. Because like you said, when you reflect, you start to realize your strengths and you build on your confidence with that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And this got me thinking, to our parents' generation, because I watch my parents every week. I see them, I go visit them, and I see all the hard work that they do. I don't think they even know about this win of the week. And my mom, this was last week when I observed her, she went to work, came back, was making dinner, and she wanted to clean the bathrooms, and she wanted to do a whole bunch of stuff. And I turned around and I said to Mom, Mom, your win of the week and your win today is you woke up and you went to work, and now you've come back, and you don't have to make dinner. We can order some food, but take the time to realize that, hey, like, I woke up today. That is a great win for those of us that have now aging parents. Just the fact to still have your parents around and healthy and waking up, that's a huge win. So I look at that now, and I look at my parents' generation, that there's a generation that was so hard on themselves and that they don't take the time to appreciate what they've done. Like, they came into this country as immigrants and they paved the way for us. And when I was looking back, like, I'm like, my itty bitty problems are nothing compared to what my parents went through. So to have that dialogue with yourself and to really pay attention to, what, I may not have the force and the strength. And like, I like to call my mom, like she's like made of these like German steel parts or something. She's built solid, Teflon Don, but I may not be to that caliber, but I got a little something in my toolbox that I can kind of look back and say, you know what? That was a great week you had, Ange.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. I want to get into some questions here now. Okay. Why, I'm going to go to you, Al, for this one here. Why is self-appreciation and self-worth so important? What have you learned through this whole process now?
I would feel like as I'm getting older, I can actually start appreciating these kinds of questions and appreciating yourself. Because I think when we were younger, we were not in the mindset, or we were just too immature to really reflect on ourselves. Of us, people aren't going to always be tooting your horn. They're not going to always be building you up constantly and telling you, yeah, you did great today. You could be at work and you could have done it. You could have had a hell of a week, and you at the end of the week you'll probably get attaboy, good job. Like, it's almost that was expected of you. Like, if you don't live up to that level, you're actually not performing. So I think it's very important that we ourselves have to compliment ourselves and say, hey, you're doing great. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. So you got to pump yourself up, because those days where you're not feeling well, you can't keep crying to someone and say, hey, can you lift me up? Can you make me laugh? Can you do this? It's got to come from within. And once it comes from within, then you actually start getting a little bit more of like a better sense of self-worth.
Right. That's a great answer. Rose, you?
Yeah. To me, self-appreciation then turns into self-worth. So the more work I do on myself of appreciating the values I have, the qualities I have, the skills I have, then leads to my self-worth, which leads to your self-esteem. So I think it all kind of ties in together. And so for me, doing that inner work of praising myself in a healthy way, right? Like, I think the three of us are very hard on ourselves. We've just been prone to be, that way, and we're trying to undo it, because I do think that when you are telling yourself, harping on yourself negatively, like, oh, I can't believe you did that, screw that up, and you keep doing it, it's actually not good psychologically for us. But like to say, hey, I could have done better here, but let's list all the good things that I've done today, this week. It really does help your self-value, and then it helps your self-esteem, because you really start picking yourself back up, and you really start feeling good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you show up in the world a little differently.
Right. Yeah. Great. That's a great answer. I always like to say, ain't nobody gonna love you like the way you love yourself. And ain't that the truth? You will go through relationships, you will find partners, boyfriend, girlfriends, whatever you want to call it. Maybe your parents will come pretty close to loving you like that, but nobody's going to love you the way that you love yourself. So self-love, self-appreciation, the positive self-worth, it's all interconnected, because the more you love yourself, the more you're going to appreciate who you are. And you're going to look at yourself and say, God dang it, I have a purpose here on this planet. I just need to figure it out, but I belong here.
Yes.
And that's what it boils down to, because the three of us, we are really hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
I've caught myself so many times. And for me, what I've started to realize now is that I catch myself saying something negative, and then I stop and say, wait a minute, Ange, okay, back it up. Why did you say that to yourself? And 99% of the time, it's my own fault. Or I didn't give myself enough time to get ready. Or I didn't read the text message properly, and then I didn't get where I needed to be on time. So it's my own self doing. Yep. But it's like, if I just pause a little bit and slow down, I can, not miss the beat and say, okay, Ange, you got this to do, that to do today, and this to do. What can you successfully accomplish? And that's where now it's starting, for me, it's setting goals for myself. It helps me with my goal setting. And now I realize if I do kind of screw up, I'm not that hard on myself. Yeah. Right?
I think that you're right. That's the key, is don't be so hard on yourself.
Right.
The more you push yourself down, the harder it is to get back up. So be kinder to yourself.
Yeah. Yep. And I'll tell you right now, you might have a handful of people that are yes people in your life. They'll say yes, 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 but they truly are just saying that because they don't want to hurt your feelings. The people in your life that love you the most should be able to give you good criticism and bad criticism to help you with your self-growth, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes you say something to me, or Al, when he was teasing me about the complaint department, and then another time he's like, no, seriously, you're complaining too much. I caught that. I'm like, if my younger brother is saying this to me, what am I projecting? So then, I made a note to start saying, okay, Ange, stop complaining about the things and put a different spin on it. Same goes for you.
Right.
Sometimes you're hard on me and I'm hard on each other, but it's only because at the end of the day, I want to develop your potential.
And I'm going to add to that, because what really helped me was my employer has said to me, my boss has said to me recently, that you're not assertive enough. And I was like, okay. And then when I came to tell you guys, you're like, oh, so your work has noticed this. And I was like, yeah. But I took it more seriously from you two coming. Like, I've only known my boss for 2 months. And I'm like, you don't really,
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't carry that much weight with me, versus you two carry weight with me. I was like, okay, so I do have this issue that I'm not assertive enough, and I need to work on that. But it helps when you're, like you're saying, you're close to people in your life who know you well. Like, yeah, that is a pattern that you have. And you're like, oh, I don't want to, I didn't want to reflect on that and be like, that's the truth. But it is the truth. I am not an assertive person, and I need to learn to be more assertive.
And the funny thing is, now that you say that, I don't know why I never used that word. I would just say, you need to grow a pair.
Yeah.
That was my explanation. I could have just used the word assertive. It didn't even come to me. Didn't think of the word. I was like, you need to grow a pair and buck up.
I always
you both say that.
I said, Rose, you're not assertive at all.
Yeah. Well, you would say it in a way that I didn't think I understood it. When she said, I was like, okay, I see. I don't speak up enough, or I don't say this stuff enough. And then now when Al tied it back to some of the problems I've had with people where I run from the situation, I'm like, yes, I have a problem with not being assertive. All right, that's something I got to work on.
You don't like confrontation.
No, and nobody likes confrontation. Let's be real.
But no one likes confrontation more than Rose.
Yeah. My saying to you is always grab the bull by the horn and just go for it. That's what I always say to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the next question here. So how do you show value and appreciation towards yourself? What have you guys started to do, or do you do anything? Do you reward yourself?
Okay, I can go.
Yeah.
Well, I just started, I guess, in the last few years doing this, was actively starting to take care of my body and my mental health. So by actively incorporating meditation into my diet, so at least once a day, usually in the mornings when I like it. And if I don't get it, then I'll try to do it at least before I go to sleep. Another thing is, I've probably been doing this for years now. I almost always have to fall asleep to like binaural beats, which is like those frequencies that will be like, it's good for like sleep or like manifesting or releasing stress. Or I'll listen to like something motivational that's good for sleep time. And I know, okay, well, they say that 95% of how we conduct ourselves is subconsciously. So I figured, well, how do I get to that? It's got to be when I'm sleeping or through some other hypnosis. So I said, well, the easiest thing I can do is start incorporating this at nighttime when I'm going to sleep. Whether it's going in there or not, I'll know after months and months when I start saying, oh, what did I do to incorporate those changes? And another thing was diet. I've always not been great with diet. I still have an addiction with sugar. So that's like my go-to that I'm working on. But sugar's tough, man, because it's been since I was a kid. I was always that kid at school that always had a bag of 5-cent candies in my desk, and I used it like currency. So it was like if I need to like cheat off a test or do something, I'm like, they'll give you like 20 candies. Okay, you can look over my stuff. So it was ingrained in me, and because it was always in our house, like no one ever said no, you can't have candy. I would eat candy till my stomach would hurt. Wait about a half a day, and then it goes away, and then just do it all again the next day. So I'm getting there. Exercise is another thing that Rose has been hounding me for. And I told her again, I was like, the universe will get me there when I need to get there. And it's starting to give me signs when I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I get up to go move a couple things. I'm like, why is my shoulder clicking? I'm like, what? Like, oh yeah. I'm like, I'm not 25 years old anymore, princess. It's time to start doing stuff.
Buckle up now.
I know. It's time to start take care of this temple.
Yeah.
Okay, so good for you. So you're doing better self-care stuff now.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Taking some steps. I'm not the master of it right now, but
Yeah.
But you're in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
But I think the benefit is that at this age, you're so much far ahead than some people that will get this information maybe later on in life.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't know if I'm blessed or not, but it was my body that just started telling me that, hey, guess what? The 2 chocolate bars you're eating every day is not going to work because your stomach's messed up the next day and you want it again the next day. I'm like, this is feeding my addiction. I got to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. I agree. Rose, what about you here? Let me go back to the question. How do you show value and appreciation towards yourself?
That is a good one. Yeah, I think that my old way was Al's way, which is I would, if I did something really productive or really great, I would thank myself by giving myself a piece of chocolate, reward myself with a piece of cake. And then I was like, I don't think I need this anymore. This isn't working. And so I really have changed it like Al. I definitely incorporate meditation daily. I put my phone away now after 10 p.m. Like you can't even look at the screen. That's a no-no. So I'm rewarding myself with also being disciplined. It's a strange kind of combination, but it's working for me. So I'm using the two of them. And then my reward to myself any time of the day is just dance. I am a dancing queen. You guys know I love dancing. So now when I make really cool reels for our social media and I'm like, yes, that was a good one. And then my mind goes, go have a piece of candy. And the other mind goes, no, let's dance. I'm like, yeah, let's dance. Let's just play some Taylor Swift and dance. So
good. That's positive.
Yeah.
Okay, I am guilty by association, and I do reward myself with sugar, and because that is my guilty pleasure. I'm not much of a drinker, so I noticed that I would go to our favorite bakery and get the chocolate chip cookies or the Java brownie,
so good.
And I started packing on weight. So I was like, okay, and now as you get older, sugar hits you a different way, causes inflammation. In the moment, it's like, holy, this is amazing. Afterwards, when you come off that roller coaster high, you're like, okay, I got a headache. So instead, and I know that you're always harping on me about this, like, why do you watch this television show? Why do you do that? So I don't tell you. So I substituted sugar for watching bad TV now. I will watch my Jersey Shore, my Real Housewives. I don't tell you. That is my reward system. If I've had an amazing week, I'm like, I'm going to sneak this episode in here and tell Rose that I worked on some social content she doesn't need to know. Yeah.
That's the way to do it. You don't get rid of your addiction, you transfer it.
Yeah. I found something else. And it's so good. it's so juicy sometimes. Al and I will secretly watch a Jersey Shore episode before you get over to the house. We'll like quickly watch it before she comes and turns on a podcast about something about like they found.
So it has to be self-improvement with her for like 24 hours a day, to the point where it's going into reverse now. It's not even self-improving. It's
I agree. Okay, before we start to wrap up, I have a couple more questions, but I'm going to just go down to, because I think this is really important one that I want to close off with, and I want our listeners and our viewers to think. I can't even talk today. I want our listeners and our viewers to think of these 3 things for themselves as well. So I want you to hold yourself accountable when I ask this question to these 2 here. Off the top of your head, and I didn't tell you guys about this, so you have to just, off the top of your head, Al, I want you to name 3 things that you appreciate about yourself. And now, Rose, that gives you a head start to think while Al has to answer.
Okay.
I'm going to say my general outlook on life, because I don't take it too seriously. I try to look at it through a funny lens. So my sense of humor, which I think is one of my key elements, because what I've always found in my life, first, is I make myself laugh. That's what I like to do, because people are always serious. And the older you get, the more serious people get, the more angry or bitter or upset they get, because life is catching up with them and they're not wanting to deal with the issues or address the trauma and things that they have going on. So my biggest thing is I got to look at life in like a funny way, because that's what I guess my coping mechanism has been for like the last 20, 30 years, was just let's laugh our way through things, laugh at me, laugh at you. And when I do make fun of somebody, I don't do it out of like ill intent. It's like, we're just having a great time. You make fun of me, say whatever you want. It's nothing personal. But that's, I would say, my general outlook on life, my sense of humor.
Okay, your humor's number 1.
Yeah.
What's your second one?
My general outlook on life, that I just look at positive things. Like, there's plenty of people who always look at the bad, and just as soon as you have a conversation with them, it's like, oh yeah, it's been a tough week and this is going on. That I'm like, okay, so let's get it out of your system. But after a couple minutes, okay, let's talk about something other than money, other than politics, other than also the daily grind nonsense stuff that we all have to go through. Let's just try to build each other up, and let's walk away from this conversation in a better mood. When I go to certain people, I don't like, if I walk away and I'm not in a great mood, I know that, okay, they're either going through something, but I need to protect my energy, and I need to just kind of, distance myself for a little while, because that's not where I need to be around.
Yeah, I like that you said protect your energy. That's a good one. So that's 2. What's your third one?
I think that was his third one, because he has general outlook on life, sense of humor, and protecting his energy.
No, but that doesn't
count. That's part of it. I think I just started learning.
See, when you have to really look at yourself, you should be able to name 3 things. Because Al, you're very talented. You have so many. I think the biggest one that you're missing out about yourself is you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're an amazing big brother, and you're very caring.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was just say I can learn things. I'm good with IT.
No, you're very caring.
Actually, you know what? I don't know if that's a good thing. It's more like a gift and the curse, because now that I'm good with IT, I'm everyone's IT support. Everybody.
Everyone's.
Yeah, even before I came here today, I had to help my aunt reactivate her Microsoft Office, and then get her WhatsApp going on her desktop, and transfer all her files from her phone before she goes on her cruise, because she can't take more pictures because her phone is full.
But that's a technical skill.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a personal skill.
Oh, yeah.
See? That's a technical skill. This is a personal skill. This is a personality question.
Is that right?
Oh, here we go again. No, but you're very fiercely loyal, and you have a heart of gold. Yeah. You should don't ever change that quality about yourself.
Yeah, loyalty. And that's what I appreciate too over people. Like, loyalty is like really key for me.
100%. Yeah. Loyalty is royalty.
Yeah.
Even if you lie to me about something, as long as you're loyal, we'll get through it.
There's forgiveness in there, right? Rose, what about you?
I hope I have 3. I know my first is, I think my level of kindness has increased, and I'm really proud of myself for being more kind to people. That ties in with my level of empathy. I'm starting to, when I meet people, understand something's happened in your life that's made you the way you are. It's not my job to judge you. It's just, to have empathy with what you're going through, what is happening in your life. Those are my 2 biggest ones. And like Al, I think I'm fiercely loyal. Sometimes I think I'm loyal to a detriment. Like, I don't know if it's always a good thing, but I'm fiercely loyal. Like, if you show up for me, I'm showing up for life for you. Yeah. And again,
like Al said,
sometimes like if you're loyal to me, but you lie to me, we can get through that. But loyalty to me is everything.
If you have my back, and especially the tough times, doesn't matter about all those things you lied to me about. We'll get through all that.
Well, you two both have that forgiving nature.
We're very forgiving.
See?
Yeah, I would definitely say
me,
Al and I.
not so much.
Yeah. I definitely am forgiving, and I think the forgiveness comes from Mom. She's definitely a very forgiving person, and. I think I like those qualities about myself.
Did you notice that you two kind of had to hesitate with yourself?
Yeah.
On that? Did you see?
Yeah.
You
It
should
feels
know
weird talking about yourself.
exactly.
It feels
Because
weird to be like,
we've always
I
been
think
taught
I'm
that.
kind.
Yeah.
I think I'm compassionate.
It's your programming. You've
But
always
you
been taught
see?
that you don't brag about yourself.
Yeah.
You don't talk. You let other
Yeah.
people say it. You don't talk about your wins. You don't talk about
Yeah.
the good stuff.
See?
You only sit there and ignore those like they don't exist.
But see, to our listeners and our viewers, you heard it here first because this was an experiment. Because I
Good.
wanted to see how you two, and that's why I didn't tell you guys to prepare. I wanted to know, just fresh off the bat, authenticity being live, how you two would react to this.
Good one,
Yeah,
Ant.
I was staring off into like the sky for
Because
all
it's
of
hard
I
to
was
talk
like, oh
about
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk.
It is
about
hard to
yourself,
talk about
right?
yourself. Yeah.
Now here's me. If you had asked me this question, I could tell you 3 things off the top of my head because I do love myself. I've worked hard at continuing to love myself. There was a time where I liked myself, but I didn't love myself. There's a difference, right? I fell out of love with who I was, the essence of who Angie Dhillon is. Now I love myself. But the 3 things that I'm going to say that for me that I love the most about myself is number 1, I am fiercely loyal like these 2.
Yeah.
Number 2, if I love you, I love hard and you're in my
Yes.
circle and I will be your biggest cheerleader. And number 3, I like to say I'm one of the strongest people that I know mentally.
Yes.
May not be physically, but mentally, I have
You
been
are
able to
tough.
withstand the test of time to a lot of things. And I think when I look back at everything that I've gone through, I'm like, that in itself is such a huge thing to, look back and pat yourself on the back and don't ever forget because life was not easy for me for the longest time. And when I look back, to be able to say that you're freaking strong and that I like to think I'm unbreakable is pretty badass and amazing. So those are
I
my
will
3.
second that. You're
Yeah.
definitely unbreakable.
Yeah, you're stronger, way mentally stronger than I am.
100%.
Yeah.
Well,
And I'm
Well,
okay
you'll
with
get
that.
there. You
I'm
will
okay
get
with
there.
that.
Yep.
But that's why you have me, big sister,
Yeah.
that's going to teach you guys
Exactly.
Yeah.
what worked. And I'm going to teach our listeners and our viewers like the things that work. As we go along on this journey together, we're going to, all 3 of us, reveal our really dark times, our difficult times, our good times. And it's not always going to be rosy. We're going to talk about some of our struggles and the things that, what worked for us to overcome some of the darkness. So that was my 3.
That was awesome. It's
great, Angie.
Thank you.
And we second all your 3.
Yeah, good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Yeah.
Pat myself. And to our listeners and our viewers, if you're listening right now, I want you to take the time out and write down 3 qualities that you love about yourself. And if you can't write 3, come back to it and make it your win of the week, that you have 7 days during the week to think about it. Or ask a friend, ask a relative, ask your brother or your sibling and say, hey, can you name 3 things off, 3 things that you think are my strengths? And keep that going over the course of a couple months. I can tell you will build yourself back up so quickly and you're going to be like, wow, why was I being so hard on myself? That's a wrap.
And don't be shy to share it on our post as well too. Comment below what your
Yes.
wins are and what you're grateful for and what your 3 top qualities are about yourself.
Yep. And you know what? There's a lot of darkness out there right now. It's time to bring in the light. It's time to talk about self-appreciation. It's time to make sure that we take care of our mental health, our mind, our body, and our soul. And we want to wish you love and light. Please take care of yourself. Once again, subscribe to our channels, our social channels. Check us out. DM us. Feel free to leave any comment that you like. And like I said, think about your 3 wins and your 3 strengths. Until next week, friends and family, please stay safe. It is a Tribe Called Dhillon signing off. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Wait, and before she signs off, feel free to write 3 things that you like about me in the comments below, and you don't have to include these 2. That's okay.
And we're fine with that
Yeah.
too.
I'm okay
Bye
with
for
that.
now.
Bye.